Hello, welcome in. This is Cleo. Thank you for being here. I'm going to be looking into the ethers and seeing what the divine realm wants you to know in this reading. So I hope you're doing really well. Thank you for all your contributions, your likes, your comments, subscriptions and donations. I appreciate you all so much. So let's just dive into it. Show me. Higher realms, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, higher beings. What does my viewer need to know? Okay, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and I'm hearing that something is imminent. You know, that thing you've been waiting for, that feeling you've been waiting for, that state of being, it's inevitable, it's coming in for you. And I feel like this is to do with your security, your lifestyle, living the way you want to live. And basically, you know, having a life that really reflects you in it, you know, living the dream, being in that position that really matches your soul and matches your personality. So I'm really loving the stability in this card. And they're saying, be assured, you know, you've conjured up something really magical, really beautiful, and you will be feeling everything around you fitting this beautiful dream of yours. Or, you know, just matching your imagination in the sense that, you know, your personality, there's something about your personality and having an environment and a situation that suits your personality. This could be a new job for somebody, you know, a new positioning in life, or just realizing that, you know, your environment and your habitat actually match who you are now. So they're saying that's coming in. All right, maybe you've been waiting for something, or maybe you've been patient with your manifestations. They're saying you're going to start to notice everything feels right. Everything feels glorious. And it's going to be permanent, they're saying. This lovely feeling is going to be very permanent in your life. And then we've got the Fool card. So this new state of being, or this position that you're in, you know, it's going to be matched by a feeling of freshness and assuredness, feeling really sure of yourself and feeling like, you know, you've got your feet on solid ground and that everything's reliable enough for you to sort of bounce off of it and feel like you're in a fresh chapter of life. So I love the fact that we've got a major arcana on the table and that you're going to know that the universe responded to you, that everything is feeling you, and you're going to feel yourself in this new world. It's funny how this is coming through. The perfect environment for a perfect person is what they're telling me. So that's really gorgeous. You're going to feel crowned by this new situation or environment or positioning. Okay, Three of Pentacles. So everything's working in a beautiful way for you. I'm hearing that you're going to feel like you've moved mountains, you know, to get where you are. And it's almost like you're going to realize the power of your mind and the power of your spirit once you get in this Queen of Pentacles scenario. And I don't feel like everything's come together right now for you, but it's definitely being woven in for you at the moment. The forces at work to create this reality for you are ever so powerful. And you can see here, they're saying, you know, the people on this card represent your non-physical helpers, the allies and beings that really support you and guide you, and that make things happen for us on the earth plane. They're busy at work in the non-physical to pave the way for you to be in this beautiful Queen of Pentacles environment. One at a time. Whoa. And we do have the Three of Swords as the underlying energy here. And this has been and gone. You know, I feel like you really bounced yourself up from positioning of heartbreak. You know, when something fell apart, you got stronger. And, you know, you realized you were worth more. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who knows her value, but also understands that as a regal being, as a monarch, as the sovereign being, as the authority of her own life, she has to make things happen. So, you know, Pentacles are all about the physical manifestation of what we picture, what we feel in our hearts, and what we conjure. So you've done really well. I can see, you know, you really made your way up the ladder of the mind, and, you know, you're quite comfy now, I feel. And because you did that, and because you made feeling good a priority, or the new normal, you made this state of valuableness the new normal. And so the universe kept giving you more and more and more that matched that frequency. And now that's why I feel like you've got such a solid platform to, you know, sit comfortably on. And I thought you're going to be really pleased with yourself, having come out of heartbreak or pain or something really disappointing. And they're shaking their head. The divine realm is shaking their head. You know, you went through something that you wouldn't have expected to even be possible, or it was worse than you imagined. You know, when you felt this energy that maybe boosted you into this position or forced you to sort of be tenacious and really sort of get there on your own or do something, you know, to heal yourself or to become stronger. I feel like it was shocking to you. Whatever happened, it really shook you and it kind of hurt your heart. And I'm getting you had to mend yourself. You know, the Queen of Pentacles can be quite a nurturing energy as well. So I feel like you really kind of held your own hand. And they're saying for a change. So this could have been the first time you decided to really grab the bull by the horns and be like, you know what, I'm doing this healing stuff. I'm going to really put myself first, and I'm going to really see what the universe is made of. And I'm going to see what I'm made of. And I'm going to really put my everything into creating this new reality. So your reward is coming, they're saying. Your reward is, you know, guaranteed. And you've really earned it, and you're going to feel so happy when you look back that you made the decisions that you made, and you conjured the energies in your heart that you conjured, and that you kept on valuing yourself, and you kept on improving things, and you kept on putting in such beautiful effort or such a beautiful focus towards this lifestyle. I feel like you're going to be really happy that you put yourself up on a pedestal and made this happen. This is manifestation at its best, and it's going to feel lovely. It's going to feel like a whole new fresh start. We've got the Knight of Wands energy here, Sagittarius energy, and there's a lot of excitement, you know, coming in, I feel, for you, you know, or something that's going to be lit up within you. And I feel like it's something you planted a little while ago, something you were excited about is going to meet you very soon on this pathway. Because the Queen of Pentacles, you know, she's quite satisfied, she's quite stable. But the Knight of Wands is a really fiery energy. So I feel like with the Fool card mixed in, you know, you're quite comfortable at the moment. And I feel like, you know, maybe not bordering on bored, but, you know, you need something exciting to happen. And the Knight of Wands in this position is telling me that a seed you planted in the past, maybe you wrote something down in a journal, in, you know, a manifestational kind of way, you wished for something, or you cosmically ordered something, and that's going to be coming in towards you. I can see that, you know, you set something into motion in your excitement or your passion that's coming in on this pathway. Death and rebirth here. Okay, so big changes in your life, and all for the better. You know, you're going to feel magical in a whole new way, and you're going to feel really comfortable. There is a big transformation coming up, but you've already done most of the moves. So this is like the icing on the cake with this death card. Something coming in to confirm to you, yes, my reality shifted. Yes, this is a big shift. And no, we cannot go back after this change. Everything is going to be different. And this is going to be exactly what you wanted. And it's going to be the opposite of what you experienced before with this Three of Swords energy. You know, you knew exactly what you didn't want back here, and you conjured the complete opposite. And the universe really took heed. The universe took your order, and the universe is your fairy godmother. And you're going to have that proven to you during this next phase, during the next leg of your journey. Something really invigorating, something really moving, something that really captures your heart and your soul. And I do feel like a lot of passion is coming in for you here. Four of Swords. So again, there's this energy here of you kind of, maybe at the moment, you're kind of keeping yourself to yourself, or you're kind of on the back burner doing your plans, doing your pre-paving, or, you know, setting things into motion that are going to join you after this big transforming event that's coming in. Something that will be obvious to you. So again, it could be starting a new job or meeting a new person. But the universe is going to show you everything's changed, and you did this. You are this powerful. You made this happen. But right now with the Four of Swords, I feel like, you know, this is built on a lot of healing, a lot of self-care, and a lot of kind of taking all those practical, responsible things and making them the foundation of your being, and knowing that the magic will fill itself in once you kind of lay the practical foundations of just looking after yourself and thinking the most of yourself and really loving yourself. You know, the universe then sprinkles the magic in. So this is the phase you're going into, where the magic is going to be sprinkled into your reality, because you did all the right things. I'm getting with this Four of Swords, and you made all the right decisions. We've got the Four of Cups right now. So you're ready for this fresh start. You know, you're absolutely ready for something new to come in and for something new to be handed to you. Seven of Swords energy here. You've done things very carefully, Okay, because the last thing you want is more trickery or more deception with this Seven of Swords energy coming out. So, you know, I do feel like you're keeping yourself to yourself quite a lot. You won't take any offers that look suspect. You know, this is all about your security, and you built this security all on your own, and you've done so well with it. And now, you know, there's this frequency of success that you sent out because you successfully managed to crown yourself. You really crowned yourself in the most beautiful way. And they're saying, rest assured, you know, you're on such a different frequency nowadays. These frequencies back here, the Three of Swords, and this fear you have, this Seven of Swords, you healed yourself so well, and you've done so well with moving your consciousness and your energy to a different positioning that victory is assured with the Chariot card. Again, major arcana energy, okay? The gods blessing your life, or, you know, you blessing your own life really, and making room for new and better energies to come in, has set your frequency so high that the path you're on now is high vibrational. I'm hearing high vibrational beings only, those beings that love and appreciate and see, you know, the beauty in you and the value in you. That's what's coming in here. We've got the Tower. So again, something big and monumental hitting your life in the most beautiful way. And I can see that, you know, maybe you've got a little bit too much time on your hands, or maybe you're just waiting for the right offer or opportunity, particularly something that's going to move you and make you feel again in the most wonderful way. I can see that's coming in, but I feel like because of past experiences, you know, you are kind of protecting yourself in the most sensible way. I feel like you're being very sensible in your life, and that's going to pay off. You know, there's a lot of magic coming in for you, things that are going to feel really beautiful, things that are going to uplift you and invigorate your soul. Show me this Three of Swords. King of Swords, you know, having to cut people off who are maybe cold, vindictive. You know, this is you having to see clearly through a tangle of emotional pain, and you managed to do that, and you got yourself on the straight and narrow. I'm getting could have been some hijinks or narcissistic energy in your past, but what I'm getting here is that it made you see your beauty, it made you see your gloriousness. Maybe not straight away when we feel, you know, like we've been through the ringer, but sometimes being treated as the opposite of what we are makes us really realize that we are sovereign, royal and dignified. And I'm getting that that's what's happened to you. You made all the moves to really transform your reality. This is my card that represents, you know, you being a divine being and really kind of pulling on divine energies to help you through this. And they're saying, we won't let anything bad happen to you. We're here with you and we're working with you. And you've done so well to hold yourself in such a beautiful mindset for so long, and to maybe reject things that you know as a sensible adult, you know, having this sensible head on your shoulders now. You reject things that may be an older version of you, and by that I mean a younger version of you. You know, you in the past may have said yes to certain offers or dates or opportunities that now you know you're too good for. So I really love seeing these energies. You know, you're really avoiding any catastrophes in life by being very sensible and very mature, and you've learned your lessons and you've taken those lessons forward in a way that now you can't go back and be the person you were before. You've come too far and you crowned yourself in the most beautiful way. Hermit energy here. So all this work you're doing in the background, all this work you've done on yourself, all your spiritual progress is, you know, gonna bear fruit, and you're gonna see that actually, yes, the universe has moved, everything's changed, everything's shifted, and everything is meeting me where I now am. You know, you're on a totally different TV station of the mind now compared to where you were when you were wounded in the past, and you've got this pillar of severity, the ability to say no, the ability to kind of observe things and analyze things or weigh and measure things before you move forward, whereas maybe at some point in your life, you know, you were just going with the flow and maybe it got you burned. They're saying no more of that. You know, you've really become an alchemist of your own reality in the most beautiful way. And I feel like you're ready to get out again. You're ready to get out in the world again. Because the Hermit energy, Four of Swords, I feel like you've been maybe recuperating from some other big chapter in your life that made you realize who you really were, but also planning on the next exciting phase. But, you know, I feel like you're ready to burst free again. We can see in the Fool card, she feels so uplifted, elevated and free, and she's holding a crystal here. So that's reassurance that, you know, you take your protection with you wherever you go. And I feel like now you understand yourself enough to know that wherever you walk, you're blessed. And you've learnt too much now to be as vulnerable as you were before. 7 of Swords here again, okay, on top of our Queen of Pentacles. So someone could see your value, and they could see how lovely you are and how wonderful you are. And, you know, there's some level of deception here, someone taking you for granted. Most of the time it's energy theft, you know, someone wanting to steal your light and take your energy away. And I'm hearing they wanted to take your journey away, but you didn't let them. Okay, so I don't know what that means. That's quite serious. They're giving me the tingles here. They could see you on a wonderful pathway, and it's almost like they wanted to thwart your pathway. But, you know, the pathway that's laid out for you is bigger and better than ever. And I feel like you're ready to take your magnificent soul on this journey. And your journey has been enhanced by these beings. As much as it doesn't feel like it at the time when we deal with them, when we bounce back up to a higher self level, when we bounce back up in our frequency after maybe dipping down into grief or sorrow, there are always gifts waiting for us, vibrational loot. So you're really headed into this lootalicious, wonderful phase of your life. Let's have a look at the 3 of Pentacles. I feel like you really need reassurance, you know. 3 of Swords here. So you learnt to make your way out of heartbreak, you know, and maybe your experiences with people haven't been so great. And maybe you've had a dose of the worst types of people. But what I'm getting here is that that's all going to change because you turn things around. So this fresh start with the Fool card is your reassurance that, you know, you created this new pathway. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles again. You changed a 3 of Swords into a 3 of Pentacles. And they want me to reassure you that, you know, the tarot exists the way it is in its format for a reason. All the creators of their own reality have to go through this gauntlet of 7 of Swords and 3 of Swords. So they want you to know you're not the only one, okay? And, you know, I see a lot of courage as you move forward, and a lot of self-love, and a lot of this beautiful energy of knowing what you deserve and therefore conjuring it. So they're saying, you know, be assured that you've conjured something absolutely beautiful that matches your beautiful soul, and the universe is working with you on this fresh start in the most magical way with the 3 of Pentacles. You've mastered the last phase of your life. You beat the odds, you beat the heartbreak, you beat the pain, and it will never be that painful again, is what they're telling me. So, you know, you gave yourself the self-nurturing, the self-healing, and you developed this sovereign perspective on yourself. This idea that you are so valuable, and you are a valuable cherubima. You are a valuable child of the universe, a valuable child of God. We've got the Devil card with the 4 of Swords here. Okay, healing yourself from, you know, one of these heartless beings, or a situation where you had to deal with maybe multiple heartless beings, but you did it. Okay, and now I feel like you're ready. They're saying you won't be bored for long if you're bored at the moment. 2 of Wands. Okay. So feeling like you're at a crossroads, feeling like you can't go too much further until you make a decision or something happens. They're saying it's coming. The cogs are turning, and you'll be getting out of, you know, any feelings of boredom, or maybe having, you know, waited so long. You're going to get out of that feeling of waiting very soon, okay? It's like, you know, when you see animals racing, they're kind of showing me, you know, when they let a greyhound, and I don't really like things like that, but this is the reference they're giving me, when they let a greyhound out and they start racing, you know, getting into your life now is going to feel so thrilling for you. You're entering the most thrilling part of your life, they're saying. And whatever these energies did, the Devil, the 3 of Swords, whatever someone did to hurt you or upset you, the universe is paying you back in dividends. So, you know, you're going to have the most amazing time. We've got the Moon card here. So I do see you being a little bit fearful of the unknown, you know, not knowing what life's going to bring you next. But they're saying, you know you've done all the right things, and you know your heart's in the right place, and you know your heart is such a powerful protector. You being in the energy of love, and you having learnt your value or seen yourself from this valuable positioning, is your protection. And it's your guarantee, you know, whatever frequency our consciousness is, energies have to meet us at our frequency of consciousness. So now you've learned to protect yourself, and you've learned your true value. Everything that comes into your life has to match that frequency. Show me the Chariot. Seven of Pentacles. You invested in yourself in the most gorgeous way. Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. And this is why your wishes are coming true. But I feel like someone needs a hug. And, you know, maybe you are kind of experiencing this purging energy at the moment where energies are coming up for you to deal with them so that you leave the past in the past when all these thrilling opportunities come in to meet you. You know, I feel like the universe doesn't want you taking the past with you on this next phase of your journey, because everything you want is just waiting for you like a buffet. And, you know, they don't want your new phase or your new chapter to be affected by the devils of your past. They're gone, they're irrelevant, and, you know, it's all up from here. The only way is up. And I feel like you've already gotten up. Your consciousness is so high. So now it's just being patient and knowing you deserve the whole world. You deserve everything that you're a frequency match to, and you're a frequency match to this Nine of Cups. Perfect investment in self-love. That's what I'm getting here. Oh my God, just as I say that, you invested perfectly in the past. And sometimes when we're in our now moment, in our current day, we forget all those big things we did in the past, all those big decisions we made, and, you know, how we improved our confidence and started to get to know ourselves at a soul level and started to really value ourselves. So this is a reminder from the universe that you did invest in yourself, and those investments are paying off for you now. They're saying, not while there's a God in the sky will these creatures that sometimes we choose to deal with, will they ever get the better of the cherubima? They never will, okay? They'll never get away with it. They always pay their karma back. They have to balance out all their decisions. You know, all the decisions they make, they've got to pay the toll for, okay? They might not think they do at the time, and they might be really cocky because they're scared of life and they're so vulnerable, and they pretend they're not, and everything they do is so that they don't have to face their own vulnerability and their own fear of everything. It's all a big defense mechanism. But, you know, you're the opposite of that. You know, the universe has to pay these people what they create, and they create nothing but hell. You've created heaven. You've created your own personal heaven on earth. So, you know, you'll be getting paid in dividends for putting your crown on and for picking yourself back up. I feel like you really picked yourself up in the most powerful way, and you're going to really be galloping forward. You know, the etheric realm is with you as you move forward into this thrilling round. They're saying, you know, it's like round 3, or it's a new round. Funny enough, they're getting to say round, like everything's circular. You put stuff out and it's circling back to you. But with the Fool card, you know, you are the middle point of your own life, and everything you flow out, you attract back, and it's beautiful. We've got people skills. So I definitely feel like, you know, you're going to go into this phase of socializing and, you know, being a social butterfly and really feeling like you're around the right people, having fun, partying. Again, thrills and passion and partying. That's what I'm getting. We've got prickly situation here. And I really feel like, you know, someone who hurt you in the past are going to be having the opposite situation to you. You're walking into wish fulfillment, you know, and they're walking into the hell they created for themselves. You cut ties with someone and they're saying it really did save your life. You know, it really did save you, and it saved your happiness. So they're kind of giving me this impression. I don't want to be too serious here, but they're saying, you know, a life lived without happiness is no life at all. So you saved your own life, you saved your own heart. And not only did you save your life and save your heart, you really, you know, conjured up these dreams coming true. So they're so proud of you the way you did that. They're saying it was a classical empath narcissist situation, and you really did the right thing. And because you've been doing the right thing, you know, it's almost like you started to avoid the old situations and avoid the old places and avoid the old decisions, to the point where now the slate is so wiped clean that you're kind of waiting for the universe to fill it in with something amazing. And that's coming. That is a definite. New people. They're saying don't let down your pillar of severity just because it's new people. You still want to maintain that kind of energy of having good boundaries and stuff like that. But, you know, you can trust yourself now, which means that you'll be just fine. You did the honest work in elevating your heart. And, you know, I feel like you really analysed yourself when it came to why you were attracting these people. And you realised it was a basic being too harmonic, being too empathic. It was that kind of thing here. And you were really honest with yourself in a way that, you know, not many people can manage. So it's your honesty with yourself that's making you such a wonderful alchemist of reality. It's gorgeous. And now we've got real passion. Like I say, you planted a dream or a wish before and it's coming in now. You know, you're going to have thrills and passion. And the exact opposite of what you had before in the most beautiful way. Your cake is going to be iced off in a wonderful way. And we've got passage, this journey of yours getting bigger and more beautiful and moving into this sunset, lovely energy of this beautiful relief, this thrilling relief of knowing you're in the right place at the right time and that the frequency of your life is a dream come true. This is really beautiful. So I hope you enjoy all of this passion. We've got looking on the bottom of the deck, so you know, I feel like someone could be eyeing you up, all right? So, you know, your life is going perfectly well and they're so pleased that you cut ties at the right time and saved your beautiful heart and created this beautiful reality. So thank you for watching. I'm going to leave it there. Lots of love. Mwah.